Hello. Hello, everybody, for joining. I hope that you are doing fine this Saturday. And good morning or good evening, depending on where you are. So yeah, here we are one more time. I'm still here surviving the works at my place. Still living in this single room. And yeah, even though it's very stressful, we are here trying to do some art. So yeah, let's jump in straight to it. There you go. So I been working pretty hard this week with client work, but also yeah, with all this craziness of the of my works at my place. So yeah, it's been very crazy, but still I had some little time to continue working on it. So I don't know if you have noticed any changes, but yeah, I managed to work a little bit into it. So I will continue and see it leads, but yeah. Yeah, so let's get started. Let me just double check if some more things are working here. Just let me change here just in case. Richard, hey, thanks for the like. Let's see. There you go. Yes. Yeah, I always need to play safe with all of these. Because with this version of Photoshop, if I want to open anything, it just always shows recently open files and stuff like that. And of course, since I have a lot of client work, it's gonna show there, and a lot of it is secret. So Richard, hello, welcome. Welcome. How are you doing? Yes, I regardless of all the craziness that is going on in my life at the moment, still managed to get a little bit of time to continue working on it. Yeah, and the latest was with the shield. So I've been putting like the basic shape and everything, just to as a starting point, and now I'm planning to start breaking it apart and see what I can do. So yeah, it's a first step. We'll see. Maybe it doesn't look at all like this by the end, but yeah, we'll see. Yeah, how are you? How has been your week? By the way, I checked many of the suggestions that you. Oh, now I remember. I totally forgot. Let me. Okay, give me 1 second, guys. Sorry, I'm just gonna change once again these, and let me just copy the link so you can join my Discord. Still, I need to put it in an official place so it's available, and Let's see. Beep, 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 beep. Okay, let's see. And now if I cannot write here. Okay, let me see. If I write it on my own YouTube stream, it will show for all of you. Or yes, there you go. But wait. But okay, wait. Because of the different camera, you couldn't see it. Let me see. Yeah, all these things really show how much of a noob I am with streaming. Let's see. Now here, and I mean the people on YouTube will have seen it, but not if you are on. So once again, let's see. Can you? Yeah, now you see there. That's the Discord. So you can join, and then you can put there inspiration things, and yeah. So that's why my head jumped into that, Richard, because I was going to say that I checked some of the things that you suggested on the previous streams, and one of them was this animated short on YouTube about the last church, the 40K adaptation of this story. And wow, I mean, the writing is fantastic, the story itself is fantastic, but they did a very nice work with the voice acting, and of course the animation is very limited, but still does the work very well. So yeah, I really enjoyed it. So thanks a lot for the recommendation. I really enjoyed it. Yeah, and that's how, I mean, stories like that, it's one of the reasons why I enjoy so much the universe of Warhammer 40,000. Because it can get very interesting, and not just about cool looking warriors fighting. So it can be something more interesting than that. Oh my goodness, who do we have here? Edward, su ilustrísima. Thanks Edward, thanks a lot, you are the best. For those of you that don't know Edward Marinov, he is an absolute beast of an artist. He's yeah, a great source of inspiration and a model to follow. At least for me, I know him from a very long time ago, since I was a young aspiring artist. And yeah, he is a beast of an artist, but he's one of these who could you say, one of these killer of an artist that don't care much about social media, so it is kind of unknown for the big public, because he just care about doing his own awesome art at work. But yeah, well, un placer de tenerte aquí, Edward. And no pressure for me. So yeah. Richard, you heard that the YouTube put the last shirt off? Really? Nah, I cannot believe that. Why would that be? it doesn't make any sense. There is nothing there that could trigger something like that. I mean, you might be right. I will check it up after the stream, but it doesn't make any sense. There is nothing there that... yeah, there is nothing sensitive in that short story at all. I mean, it's just about religion, but it's just as a philosophical conversation between religion and a more atheist view of the universe. So yeah, interesting. Peter, hey Miguel, apparently there is no official Demon Perturabo image. I would love to see your take. There is not? Yeah, maybe there is not. Well, that's a great suggestion. Yeah, that would be interesting to think and design this character like that. I mean, the big challenge there, I guess, is gonna be that there is no information whatsoever about the character after he is elevated to demonhood, right? There is nothing of him. So anything that could be created will be completely made up, I'm guessing. In one way, it's very nice because it's completely freedom. And gives a lot of options, but at the same time it's just like stepping blindly, really. But yeah, it's a very interesting suggestion. I would definitely consider for the future. Juan Toledano, hello. Sorry, I forgot to say hello. How are you doing? Welcome to the stream. Cantabrian, hey, hello, how are you? How are you guys? How was your week so far? Yeah, okay, so while we talk, I will continue with this. So let's see, different layers. So okay. Richard, as I know, The Last Church is an official Games Workshop short story, but the adaptation is unofficial. So perhaps this is the reason. Well, yes, but at the same time, it's still a piece of fan art. And as far as I am aware, Games Workshop has a very hands-off when it comes to fan art, because they understand that it's a very powerful marketing tool for them. And they also do have, in this case, they are not perverting or just misrepresenting that short story. They are very... I mean, they do a great job as an adaptation, so I don't know where it would be the problem. I don't see it. I mean, you might be totally right. I'm just thinking loud. But I really enjoyed it. It's one of... I mean, of course, it's not in this case just the video, but the story itself. It's one of these few stories where we get a first-hand tale of the emperor himself. So it's not an interpretation from a third party telling who or what the emperor said, but there we have first-hand. This is what he thinks. This is who he is. And it's fantastic. I really, really, really like it. All right. Uh, Also, just in case, I don't want to sound like a selling man here, but just in case, I'm just gonna mention because I know some people might be interested. The next term for my CGMA class, the next term starts on Monday, but still you have this the whole week to apply in case you are interested, or you know of anybody that might be interested. So yeah, it is starting next week. But all right, so how to destroy the shield in a way that really tells a story of the challenge that our barbarian has gone through. Maybe something. I mean, I would like to show that the shield is barely barely put together, that he's been smashed to pieces by this creature, troll or whatever that Okay, I think just in case, let's do it this way. Mm-mm-mm. By the way, is any from last week that we were talking about this horror film, Terrified, on Netflix? Did any of you guys had the opportunity to watch it? I'm very curious to compare opinions about it. Hello, Pontus. How are you, my man? But now, guys, that you have the link to the Discord channel, if you are painting or drawing at the same time that I'm doing now, during the stream, please, please, please share what you are doing on the Discord server. It will be fantastic. You will notice that the name of the server is called Space Pirate Cruise. Crew, and it is because I'm thinking ahead of time regarding my personal project, and to link the Discord server as well with my Patreon and things that I want to do there. So that's why the name and the theme overall of the server is going to be around that. Still is very bare bones. So hopefully with time I can start to make things a little bit more tight and defined. But once again, since I'm so extremely busy, I have limited resources, time speaking. Richard, all right. Okay, it is. I don't know. I'm curious because since it is not a Hollywood film, it tend to happen. I don't know why, but I feel that maybe America, like United States public, might not like it because it's a little bit different from the classic formulas. But I actually liked. I really enjoyed it. And I think there is more to it, so than just what it shows. So I think there is some interesting discussions to have about certain themes that the film goes about regarding rationality and the unknown, and I don't know. I think it's an interesting film. I mean, but of course, don't expect like the best film ever done, because it is not. It is just nice, in my opinion. Peter, yes, there is a Discord now. It is there is. If you are on YouTube, right? So if you scroll up on the chat, you have the direct link to it. My plan is to post it somewhere so it's available to everybody to join. But again, I had no time to do it. And even though it sounds like such a simple thing to do, but believe me, I am over my head with things. It's not only a lack of time, but it's like brain focus. I have so many things on my head that I barely can. I'm human and I only can do a certain amount of things at the same time and think about and plan. And at the moment it's a lot. I'll say, okay. How can we destroy in a nice way this shield? I mean, it needs to be destroyed, but also in a way that it's believable, so it feels like it's a solid shield and not just paper thin like in films. And it's quite thick, so it wouldn't just brittle that easily either. And the metal frame should hold it together to some degree as well. Okay, and thanks for the like. Richard, honestly, I don't care much about Hollywood productions. In some cases, I prefer these small and not so well-known productions. Yeah, same here. I mean, at the same time, I mean, don't get me wrong. I don't have anything against Hollywood made things. Sometimes it feels like they are made on a production line and in very mainstream. But there is also very good things, right? But yeah, I'm with you that I tend to like a little bit more independent things and from other places than just the US because of that, because it feels like it has more flavor, more personality. Things in Hollywood are made with these already known formulas and they repeat them to exhaustion. So that's why so many films are so predictable all the time, because they use formulas that have proven to work, and that leaves other ways of telling stories. I mean, yeah, narrative, it's one of those things that the narrative is so powerful in because it offers so many different ways of tells the same story. That yeah, if you tell the same stories and in the same way, then it's just repetitive and boring. and on the other hand, at the same time, that film is from Argentina, and I tend to like quite a lot Argentinian film. They have great filmmakers there. Of course, I have it a little bit easier since I'm from Spain, so it's in Spanish, and it's the accessibility is a little bit easier. But still, it's they have fantastic cinema there. Juan Toledano, awesome, welcome to the Discord. There you go. There will be a round of applause for everybody that join the Discord channel. Just look at the luxury of this channel that I offer a round of applause. Peter, did you join Artful? What is that? What is Artful? Hey, Cantarian, yes, of course, of course. And of course, if you just upload something there, 2 rounds of applause. Look at that. Peter, I'm just tired of remakes from studios. Yeah, that's the other thing. Is yeah, it's once again they just go. I mean, from a just so we stand on the same ground. I'm a creative person. I like creativity and coming to doing new things and getting surprised, and so I appreciate that above anything else. At the same time, the sad part is that I get the business size, which I dislike, but I understand, right? It's that they are a business and they are trying to, well, at the end of the day, the Hollywood is not about creativity and doing art, even though film making is it's what's called in English like an art form, but that's not what Hollywood do. It's a business, so their main goal is to make cash. And if certain formulas make money, then they are gonna go for that and just how do you say milk the cow to death. So yeah. So yeah, it's a little bit tiresome. Juan Toledano, all right. It is a new social media for artists. Never heard of it. Is it okay? It is pretty new, or at the same time, it's like, oh my goodness. I mean, maybe it's fantastic, but I I'm struggling so much with social media and having um, to be there. It's so tiresome as well. So if there is another one, god damn it. You get what I mean? It's like one more to get slaved. Uh okay, Juan Toledano has I have uploaded a work in progress illustration. I'm working now. All right, another round of applause for you. Yes, woohoo! Fantastic, Juan. Cantabrian. Never used Discord before, but I think I have uploaded something. Wait, what? You too? All right. Congrats. Yeah. Richard, the question is, how long do you are able to make money with bad blockbusters? Well, I'd. That's a good question because probably, I mean, that's the thing that a blockbuster definitely doesn't need to be a piece of art in order to make money. That's why it's a blockbuster. So in that way, it is good if it makes money. So I mean, of course, it depends on what are you referring to bad blockbuster. If it's one that doesn't make money, or it's just one of these like silly things, but it just managed to make a lot of cash. So Peter, it launches Wednesday or Thursday. All right, so it's very very new. Wow. Okay, I haven't heard of it until now. So now I will check it. Have you checked it? Is it nice? What does it make it an app for artists? In what way? What's the deal with it? What is it offering that other platforms doesn't do? It's more like a portfolio thing, like ArtStation, or more like Instagram, perhaps. Lucius, yes, the Discord is it's open and working in a very bare bones fashion, but it's there. If you scroll up on the chat, you will see the link. And of course, if you joined, you will be one of the lucky persons to get a round of applause for it. Yeah. Oh my goodness, so silly. Okay. It is like another ArtStation. All right. Well, I guess that's always good in one way. Always competition between them, so always hopefully increase like a thrive for making things better. But to be honest, I have absolutely no complaint regarding ArtStation. I think it works flawlessly. I think they have the right vision, and they have proven many times to have a good mindset about things. I don't know. And they have been up for many years now. But yeah, interesting. So yeah, I will definitely check it up. John Michael, thanks for sharing the stream. Much appreciated. So what if this part of the shield is completely gone? But I'm guessing at the same time that would, I mean, if you cover this way and they are attacking you maybe from above, this part of the shield would be the most affected, perhaps. And I don't think we have we got the chance to talk at all about the NFTs here on the chat on the stream. Do you guys know what it is? I mean, I'm maybe if you are not into the art things, you haven't heard of it. But at this point, I think it's been all over the place already. And if you have, what are your thoughts about it? I think it's a very interesting topic. and that people seems to be very opinionated and have very strong opinions. Mm, 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 mm. Yeah. Every time I'm painting this off stream, I'm playing Conan the Barbarian, uh, the first film soundtrack. I just kind of feel uh, that I need to listen to it, but yeah, sadly I cannot because of how's it called? Um, Copyright strikes and stuff like that. Lucius, yes, I said NFTs. Yes, the course cursed word these days. It feels. Uh, okay, so yeah, they seems pretty cool from what I have seen so far, but we'll need to learn more about it. Yeah, I still, I mean, for me, in order to have a a serious opinion uh, about it, I need more time to see how things develop. So I think, as things stands at the moment, for me, I feel that it can go either way, as a positive or a negative thing, and I see the arguments for both. So in one hand, I think it's fantastic the possibility that is open now for digital artists to get some real value for their art, regardless, despite the fact that it's not material, right? That is just a digital. It's a digital file. So that is fantastic, and give one way for giving value to what people do. So in that sense, I think is fantastic and very what's the word in English? Very emancipating, perhaps. I don't know if or liberating in that sense. So that is great. And of course, working myself as an artist, I think any way for giving good value to the work of artists is always great, especially when in many cases is something so devaluated in our society, where people take art or any type of image or illustrations or something, take it for granted. Don't give any second thoughts, and so yeah, in that sense, I think he's great. But I see also a little bit certain, how do you say, there are certain aspects of it that kind of remind me to a pyramid scheme, if you know what I mean. So the ones that get first get a lot of money, and they hype others into jumping in. And at the end, if you get into kind of late and you are among the masses and you are not one of the first ones, basically you are just giving away money for the people on the top to get reached. So I see a lot of certain worrying things that kind of point in that way as well, but I think it's too soon to see. So yeah, I don't know. And then of course is all these environment debate surrounding it as well. But yeah, anybody else, any take on it? You are all of you very quiet and very very much in lurking mode. You lurkers. So will these would this shield hold together if it was this broken this way? Maybe. Today I'm completely alone at home. I don't have my technician with me, Bilbo. Today I'm completely left alone. But maybe next stream he will be back. Peter, and sorry, I'm calling you Peter, but I can't remember if it was Peter instead. Please let me correct me, or I really don't want to mispronounce your names, guys. NFT feels off. I don't like how social media status is more important in setting price than the skill of execution or impact of art. Yeah, I agree. But at the same time, that's how it's been since the dawns of times. Uh, there is, I mean, in order to be a successful artist, and what I mean successful means not only getting prestige, but being able to make a living out of it, and in that sense to get money from what you do. You need to be a good seller. You need to be able to sell your art, and it's always been that way. I mean, you have, through history, you have plenty of examples of absolutely great masters, but that they were very bad at selling themselves, and they end up in poverty and in disgrace, and they were just discovered after they died, for example, and things like that. So when you add the monetary, how do you say, part into the equation, is not only about how good the art is as a artistically speaking, but is also all these social skills and or nowadays we would call it marketing skills, to market yourself to collectors or clients or patrons and stuff like that. So sadly, that's how it is if you want to make a living of art. So in that sense, I don't see anything different really. It's a pain in the ass, and of course now it seems that it's falling in some ways the pitfalls of contemporary art, which of course is not about art, but it's just a market. So it's everything about money. That's why you can have absolutely pieces of crap and they are sold for millions. And yeah, so I get what you mean. I'm not arguing against it, but I see the other side as well. I mean, I'm very familiar with fine art world, not because I'm in it, but my grandfather, he was a fine artist. He was a portrait artist, so he made a living out of it. A lot of friends of my parents are artists, fine art artists. Have a lot of friends that are in that. And it's always about, I mean, yeah, you need to be very good artists, skillful. Oh my goodness, my English once again. Skillful craftsman. But you need to be good as well at selling yourself. And of course, then you get all these big range, right? People, so-called artists that are absolutely bullshitters, and they are not good artists at all, but they are marvelous at selling themselves and just selling pure air, and they do fine. And then you have that extreme, and then you have the other extreme where you have people that are masters, but they don't get out of their houses, and or they are very poor social skills, and they are not able to sell anything. So yeah. So in that sense, the NFTs, I feel that it's a little bit the same. It's just other tools to do that. And it's a little bit like social media in general, if I'm honest, in the sense that I myself, personally as a person, I dislike quite a lot social media in general, because of all the bad things that come with it. But at the same time, I cannot deny a lot of the very, very revolutionary things that has appeared thanks to social media. Which, for example, myself as an artist and not just an artist, but an independent artist, I'm just on my own. I can potentially, it's a lot of work. So once again, the same thing about selling yourself. It's a lot of work and it's a pain in the ass because it's not about just painting, but you need to just move your ass around. You need to go expose yourself and blah blah blah, etc etc. And that gives the potential for eliminating any type of middleman that will get a percentage out of what you do. And normally that's kind of been the pitfall of many artists, right? And you could extend that also like in the music industry, where you get like agents or disc firms where, okay, you want to be discovered by the public, then you need to go through us and we will get a percentage. So at the end, you get all these parasitic type of middle man that take a cut out of what you do. And social media and this way of artists or creators, call it whatever you want, gives a direct channel for people, potential fans or listeners or audience to the artist. So that is fantastic. So once again, I see the good things and the bad things. So I'm split. I yeah. And I mean, I can speak from experience that is extenuating this thing with social media. That's why I was saying about, okay. So it's interesting that there is a new social media platform for artists, but at the same time, it's like, one more that I wouldn't have to take care of because it's extenuating and I don't like it, but I see it as a must. So when it comes to NFTs, I see that it's becoming a little bit of the same thing. You need to move yourself around and to get noticed and etc etc. Lucius, yeah, only the big players will sell their NFTs easily, but I will hesitate recommending to the average person. I notice a lot of smaller starting out artists minting their stuff, not sure if it will pay off. Yeah, that's kind of my. I totally agree. That's one of these things that reminds me a lot to a pyramid scheme. Because it seems that for the people that got early on, it's going fantastic. I mean, crazy fantastic, right? They are making so much, insane amounts of money, which coming from this argument that I was explaining before, right? About, okay, really giving real value to art in that sense. So I think it's fantastic, even if it's digital, because it's about the value given to a piece of art. Then, of course, we could argue if everything is a speculation or not, and nobody cares about the art. It's just pure speculation, which there's a definitely an interesting argumentative line there to go into. But yes, it seems to be the case that only those that got early on are doing money. The rest, you basically are contributing to that monetary system with your minting, and that you have to pay for any single transaction that you do there, like minting, or you change anything and you need to pay a fee for anything you do. So with all those small things, you are still paying and paying. And yeah, again, if the average after this huge rush for people to join, that means exponentially a huge flux of money, right? That only a few percent get a reward from the rest. So yeah, that's kind of the worrying part. So that's why I don't know what to think in that sense. I see those signs that are worrying, but at the same time, it's who knows. Peter. So okay, Peter. So it is Peter. Peter, no disagreement with you on being known and selling your art well. I agree on the modern contemporary art analogy. Yeah, I mean, but you know, the thing is, there are lots of similarities with the past, in the sense that many of all the people that we consider nowadays masters, they had to go through that as well, right? So they had to find patrons in the nobility, or the church, or whoever could be a patron. And yeah, they had to go through all these type of things as well, in different ways, of course, because the world was different, but the mechanic, so to speak, was exactly the same. The problem I see with what I think is different than any time before, is that art really has become a speculate. I mean, let's say all these things with the NFTs, and comparing it to the real fine art, contemporary art market. Well, I would argue that the contemporary art market is exactly the same. It's just a scheme of speculation. Because to begin with, who decide? You have these how is it called in English? This monopoly given to a very small portion of people, the curators, that is them who decide what is art and what is not, and what is valuable art and what is not, regardless if it is objectively a good piece of art. It is I mean, there are many wide range to describe a good piece of art. So regardless of that, these people are the ones that are going to decide what is valuable and what can be sold or not. And therefore it becomes a scheme, because what it happens is that so many times it's just pure bullshit. There is nothing there. It's just valuable because one person or a group of persons says it is valuable, without nothing else than they're just arbitrary decision. So in one way, that's why like all these fine art agencies and they want to jump into the NFTs as well, because they know how things work in that sense. Lucius, the hype catches people out. When the Wall Street bets thing took off, my body lost 2,000 pounds. He was just caught up with the hype, not fun to see. Yeah. Yeah, it is scary, and that's how all these pyramid schemes work, right? They work with the hype, and the illusions of people. This yeah, if you are too late, you are gonna miss something very big. So I guess what would show if this is truly something of that kind or not is that actually with time things continue, and the success stories widen to a bigger percentage of artists, regardless if they came late or not. But I mean, of course, I see the appeal as an artist myself. Of course, who wouldn't feel the appeal, right? If they are gonna pay you a lot of money for some of the work that you do, when normally you would not get paid anything, or if you get paid, is a tiny portion of what you would get selling it as an NFT. So yeah. I mean, in what way? I think that it would be it would be a big shame if this end up being a scheme. I think it would be a big shame, because in theory, I mean, the concept itself, I think, is brilliant. It's a way to really give tangible value to digital art. So that is great in that sense. And I don't see why it couldn't work, or it shouldn't work. Juan Toledano, I think art market is actually like an NFT market since several decades or even centuries. The name of the author is what the buyer pay for. Yeah. I totally agree. That's what I meant with that it's an speculation market, and I think it's not even about the names, but it's the key in the contemporary art. the key is on the curators. They are the key. They are the gatekeepers, and as such, they have a tremendous power because they are the ones that get the biggest cut of all. They just decide. You know, you are like the absolute king that decide what is valuable or what not. And of course, it's just bullshit. I mean, there are so many examples of being caught. I remember it was many years ago. Uh, Back when I was in Spain, there was there still is, maybe not this year because of Corona, but in Madrid there is this big contemporary art fair called Arco, where so it's like the biggest art fair in Spain of the year. And a television program decided to make a prank. So, and there are thousands of examples like this in many places. But I just remember this one that I saw where they went to a kindergarten for 2 years old or 3 years old. And they put a big canvas on the floor, and they give paints to the kids to do whatever they please. So as you can imagine, it was complete chaos and splashing paint all over the place. And then they took this canvas and they sneaked in one of the exhibitions of this art fair, and they hang the painting. And they came and since it was a TV show, they made an approach to one of these curators to if they could give an opinion about this piece that was hanging there, and it was like these kids painting. So you see the curator like, oh yeah, you can see here a very introspective window, a window to the introspective character of the artist, perhaps some sexual frustration or something. And on the TV program, they were showing at the same time in half of the screen the curator talking about this, and simultaneously you could see the kids painting the actual thing. Talking about the sexuality of the painter and his frustration, and it's just fucking kids, right? So it's just absolutely mental. And there are, not that if I can remember, there are some other famous examples where one guy gave his what is it? How is it called? This bird, the bird of the pirate. Can't remember the name in English. Gave this bird something to paint, and then won a very prestigious art competition. And again, the curators like, oh yeah, this is so good. This was a fucking bird that painted the thing. So parrot, thank you. Yeah, there you go. So yeah, it is pure speculation. Of course, like anything, you can find actual fantastic and valuable things. Not everything is bullshit, but a lot is. Yeah. Peter, NFTs feels like it's a scheme to build up new digital currency rather than an art market. Yeah, could be as well. I mean, I heard one explanation is that they came up with all these idea and concepts to give some value stability to the cryptocurrencies. So if they could put the value into something else, it will give a little bit more stability. I don't know. Jeffrey, good evening and welcome to the stream. I hope that you are fine and welcome. We are here painting our Barbarian in his quest and talking about NFTs, the very hot topic of the current times. Peter, all right, enjoy your lunch. My question is, if you are going for lunch, where are you located? Would it be somewhere Australia? No, has to be Pacific time. Yeah. If I can repost the link, yes. Let me give me a second, because I need to post it on the and there you go. That's the link. And Richard, Miguel, I have got a personal question. What's my favorite alcoholic drink? Favorite. I don't drink that much. I really, yeah, I don't know. It depends. I really enjoy red wine. I really do. Eating something like a good Spaniard, I guess. I really enjoy a cup of red wine when I eat. Of course, I absolutely love a good cold lager beer. I'm not too much into other IPA stuff and ales, just a regular lager. And if it's more like drink, I rum I like quite a lot. So yeah, mojito, for example, I really like. Yeah, I said many. I reply with many, so I don't know if that count. But yeah, there you go. How about you? Juan Toledano, yes, I was painting and making painting exhibitions when I ended college, and I abandoned when I saw how gallery world works. Wow, how interesting. Well, I guess you might have quite a lot of anecdotes and stories about that. I have never jumped into that world personally, but yeah, I mean, I have heard things like, for example, an artist exhibiting in one gallery, and the piece in exhibition gets sold, and they get a certain amount of money for that, and they have no right to know who is the buyer, and neither, and this is what is most amazing about it, not knowing for how much the piece was sold. So they could completely robbing the artist. You know, like, yeah, they're, I don't know, let's say it's 10, just for the sake of the example, $10, and maybe they sold it for 500. I mean, it's just, it is insane. So once again, going into the positive aspects of NFTs is the fact that you don't get that type of thing, right? You as an artist, you set the price, and everything is transparent between the person that want to acquire that piece of art and the creator. And so there is no middleman aside from the platform that of course demand a fee to the artist for each transaction. So it's not middleman free, so to speak, but yeah. So, and the same thing, I mean, going back, mixing topics, but with the potential for using internet and social media for independent artists or creators, I mean, musicians, etc., of being able to connect to your fan base, or maybe not fan base, but audience, but you know what I mean, instead of having to go through a gatekeeper. So that is fantastic. I mean, never before was that available for artists. We were all, I mean, artists have, for the most part, been preyed upon in that sense. And now for the first time, it is possible to be free. Of course, it's a lot of work, and it's not an easy road, but the possibility is there. It can be done. That's what I'm trying to do. Very, 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 very slowly, and with a lot of work. So yeah, one day hopefully I can start more openly. Stop taking client work and be able to focus more on my personal projects, and manage to do that through crowdfunding with Patreon and all of that. So that would be great. Mr. Wong. Yeah, what's up, dude? Hello, welcome to the stream. Welcome to have. Very happy to have you here. How are you? Richard, drinking some Ukrainian vodka right now. Nice. But you should rename that Discord group, because every pirate, even the space ones, should drink a lot of rum. Well, I liked rum, so there is no discrepancy there. And yes, red wine was very expected in your case, and I bet Spanish red wine is great. Yeah, it's the best. There is no better red wine than the Spanish one. Yeah, I hope there is no French or Italian here. They might say otherwise. But of course, I'm kidding. But yeah, I Spanish red wine is very, very good. Jeffrey, a large selling point of NFTs is also that you can now prove the uniqueness of your digital artwork, right? Yeah, that's why I think that's a brilliant aspect of it. And of course, for people that are true collectors, that means something. It brings value to it. So all this analogy that is being moved all over the place to explain about that is like, well, nowadays everybody can have a reproduction of the Mona Lisa on their wall, right? There's a very, very high resolution photo of the original work, and then printed on a canvas, and you can have it something very, very much like, but it is not. So of course it's not the same, but it's the concept is there, and yeah, I think it's great. But yeah, I think time will say. I think perhaps another thought that I have regarding NFTs is that maybe some platforms are genuinely something serious regarding all of these, and not a scheme, so to speak. But because it has exploded, I wouldn't be surprised that other platforms have opened with a more speculative mindset in mind. Yeah, mindset in mind, of course, you stupid. But yeah, you see what I mean. Because some of these platforms are curated, right? So they make sure that you cannot mind many pieces at a time, things like that. And that for me, it feels more serious and legit. On the other hand, there are other platforms that is like, yeah, just whatever, just post anything, anybody can, by invitation. So it feels a little bit more dodgy in that sense. So could be, I mean, we tend to think all these things in a bipolar perspective, like is right or wrong, is speculative or not speculative, but maybe there are many different things in between. So yeah. Have you seen my fancy cup? Altheu looks like Caravaggio this light, but more dark and red. Well, I wish. I wish, but yeah, thanks. I would take that as a great compliment. Compliment. Mm. Yeah, Caravaggio. My goodness. But yeah, yeah, it's a very high contrast. I see what you mean. And well, by the way, welcome to the stream. I don't know if you are one of these lurkers and you've been watching before, but I don't recognize you from posting on the chat. So in case you are new, welcome to the stream. Althea, yeah, I get what you mean on the muscle. Yes. At the same time, I was thinking that all this NFT thing, it also makes things, if you think about it, very exciting. These type of things are creating so much fuss, and I don't know. I think it's regardless of how it ends up, I think it's still fascinating that we are living through things like that, or things like this. Cantabrian, yeah, lurkers, right? Is it? Is not that a term for uh, uh, on streams for people that watch streams but they don't participate on the chat? I mean, I myself, I can't confess that I'm a big lurker of streams. Because I'm doing other things or whatever, and it's just nice enough just to listen. So I have to confess that I'm a big lurker. And it's totally fine, all right? So just do as you please. Cantabrian, remind me of Gollum for some reason. Yeah. Lurkers more like workers. Yeah, almost. But yeah, I mean, to be honest, I feel this is one of the things that I really don't understand with certain mechanics in live streams. Is that, and I'm just saying it as a spectator from that side point of view. And it's when you have like a very big streamer with thousands of people watching. And what is the point of saying something on the chat if it's not going to be seen? Because you see like the chat is like it goes so fast. So there is no way for you to interact with the streamer or with anybody else for that matter. So at the end, it just become like any other type of I don't know, TV program where there's no way to interact there. you see what I mean? Am I alone in this? So to me, at least as a audio, I mean, of course, still can be extremely valuable to listen to the stream for whatever the reason is of what they do on the stream. But is that interaction part of it that I don't understand? Why to even bother writing anything? I mean, in small streams or like minuscule streams like mine, it makes more sense because we are just talking directly, right? So we can interact properly like persons, even though if it's in this way. But if you were 10,000, I don't know, just saying random number. I mean, there is no way you can have any proper conversation. Richard, Miguel, was it or still is difficult for you to learn Swedish? Yeah, it is. I can defend myself, especially with more social type of talking. If it come to some specific things, I might struggle a little bit. But yeah, I mean, to be honest, I feel that my Swedish should be way better than what it is. I have a good, I mean, it's not excuse, to be honest. I feel a little bit ashamed of it. I mean, of my Swedish level, but not as an excuse, all right, but just as an explanation. When I moved here to Sweden, most of the time on the beginning I spent at work, and there being an international environment, the spoken language was English, so there wasn't too much option to practice Swedish. And then outside, the thing in Sweden, the level of English is amazingly good, and 99% of people speak a very good English. So yeah. So that's in one hand. Then of course, with time, and of course, if you want to have a life outside work, then yeah, you get plenty of opportunities to practice Swedish, right? And yeah, I have been gone to classes and all of that, but having at that time a regular job, then going to classes, it was 3 hours per class after work, 8 hours of work. So it was exhausting, right? And then, but it was good and really learning and everything was great. But then I went through a little issues on my personal life with like breaking up with a ex-girlfriend, things, yeah. So it kind of interrupted the classes. Then it took me some time to get back to them, and then other things happened, so I had to stop once again. So it's been yeah, I haven't had the chance to really improve to a higher level than what I am at the moment. But I can defend myself. So I'm not a completely idiot with it. But But yeah, but not as good as I should, in my opinion. Jeffrey, maybe it is a bit like shouting to a referee during a football match. Yeah. Yeah, I guess so. But I mean, even in that case, unless you are alone at home and screaming at the screen, if you are with friends, you can interact with people, so you have somebody to talk to. Um, I don't know, but I mean, I get your point. It's more a way to express yourself more than interacting with others. But yeah, I mean, some once again going back to this stream experience. One thing that I really dislike as a viewer, and I guess it's not fault of the streamer in that case, but if I try to interact, to speak, to ask something or whatever, but I don't get any feedback from the streamer, then it's like, so why should I even bother? You know, and I understand, and of course, it's totally understandable why, and I never take it personally. But to me, it cannot defeat the purpose of having a chat and trying to talk to the streamer if you are not gonna get any response. Um, so yeah, again, is it? Am I alone on that, or I'm just like a weird old person that I'm not on how things are? I'm out of touch with the current social trends of the internet. Richard, I'm asking because if you want to speak properly like a native born Swede, you also should drink like them. Just kidding. Well, have you been to Sweden before? Because yeah, there are very funny social dynamics here in Sweden. And of course, just bear in mind, I'm gonna go into generalizing here. So of course, not everything is that way. But that's something that shocked me the first time I came. And he's like, okay, so there you go with the generalization. Swedes tend to be very polite, proper, and distant. Some cases you could even say maybe not cold, but yeah, distant perhaps. And that's until they get drunk. They get drunk and they get, you know, so heartwarming and so friendly and so talkative. So yeah. and they are good drinkers. Uh, I remember, yeah, maybe if he was listening to this, he wouldn't be pleased of me talking about this, so I'm not gonna give any names. But I remember one Dutch colleague, another concept artist, that joined the studio where I was working here in Sweden, and it was his first week at the studio, and after the week of joining the studio, there was this big traditional party, a Swedish party, where you eat crayfish and with a lot of hard liquor. And normally, the way Swedes do, they sing and they get a shot, and they keep doing that all the time. So this poor soul, he thought that he could outdrink the Swedes from the studio, and I can tell you, I mean, just put yourself into the context, right? It was his first week at work. So normally, when you get into a new place for work, you try to give a good impression, of seriousness, professionalism, and things. So he got so wasted, he got unconscious in one of the bathrooms that we had to tear down and call an ambulance because he was completely out. The first week. So yeah. So yeah, Swedes like to drink. Cantabrian, to be honest, I was surprised how engaging you are with your audience in a good way. Okay, just kidding. To be able to chat and get tips from an artist that I look up to is pretty cool. Kudos to you, man. Well, thanks. Well, much appreciated. But I think I have explained this before. I decided to do this, starting this stream, because I get bombarded with direct messages in all the different social media platforms, and I cannot. I found myself where, I mean, I don't have material time to answer. I cannot. And I felt a little bit bad because sometimes it's very kind things to say, and so I thought that maybe having a space like this would be the perfect kind of platform and opportunity for engaging and having proper conversations. And I actually really, really enjoy talking to you guys. I really do. So yeah, for me, I think that the important thing of having this stream is actually be able to talk to you guys and to share things about, and both ways as well. So far, I mean, yeah, you have been suggesting a lot of very cool things that I didn't know about, and yeah, so I think it's a great experience. So hopefully you get that as well. Oh shit, sorry. Yeah, in Cyrillic and so fast. I didn't catch your name, but thanks for the subscription. Thanks a lot. Spasiba, Bolshoi. Um, Samadi, I agree, but my English it's so bad. Never know how to ask, or I'm late. I'm so late when I send the question answer. Yeah, well, no problem, man. First, I think your English is it's totally fine. I think one of the advantage of using a chat is that you can take your time to write. So that is cool. Of course, I mean there are certain challenges with this medium of communication, right? It's the conversation can become very split, right, with different topics, and then I need to try to follow up, and so far it's kind of easy because it's such a tiny stream, so uh, I guess it becomes much difficult if there is a bigger audience, but I mean, if you are not asking or you are not writing anything because um, you feel that I will not answer, I mean, just do, because I'm gonna do my very best to answer your questions, or most of your questions. Lucius, you are not alone. The only way to ask a large streamer anything on stream is through donations or email them after or something, depend on the streamer. Chat might be trying to express emotion as a mass, maybe, not sure. Chat hive mind. Yeah. Yeah. That's why, for instance, why I myself, I am not a big how do you say, I am not a big what's the word in English, consumer. You could, I don't know if that's the proper word, but for of streams, because for me, I really enjoy interacting with people, and unless the stream is about something that I find interesting, so I'm fine lurking once again, just listening. If not, then I don't bother. Because yeah, well, what's the point? But again, I might be missing something, or it's more a generational thing. I mean, I'm guessing also that having a proper managed Discord channel might help also with that issue as a alternative or supporting medium to the stream in that sense. So give more opportunities to interact with the audience. Jeffrey, did the Dutch guy get to stay after that? Yes, he did, but after that he was, and he continued to be remembered. Well, I mean, I'm talking about many years ago. But yeah, he forever would be remembered as the guy that passed out on the bathroom. So yeah, he was kind of a shame. I mean, it wasn't a big deal, but you can imagine. It was pretty dramatic because we didn't know if he was actually fine or not. So yeah, having to force the entry into the door, like proper beast mode, like Conan mode, and with the ambulance, yeah, it was crazy. That was the last time we celebrated that special day on the studio. That was uh, the limit there. After that, they say, yeah, no more. Sadly, because it was great fun. After that, the parties became very, in my opinion, very boring and very proper. I mean, yeah, that's a topic for another stream and discussion. But it's how companies, or in this case studios, change quite a lot through time when they start to grow. When I joined the studio, Massive Entertainment, it was an independent studio, and then got bought by Ubisoft, and through the years started to grow and grow and grow. So when I started, it was more like a family. It was very tiny, and the mentality was very, very difficult, very different. And as soon as it gets incorporated into this big corporation, things start to be, I mean, it makes sense, but it's a shame, right? Everything becomes very corporative, a lot of bullshit PR stuff, and yeah. You stop being part of the team, so to speak, and you become a minion. That's my take into this type of dynamics of growing and growing and growing. That's one of the reasons why I decided to go free and not work on a studio anymore. I mean, not the drinking part. Just to be clear. Not because of that. Richard, you are laughing because I didn't have time to read the name Yuri. Okay, I can read Cyrillic, or I used to be able to, but of course slowly I need to decode because I definitely not used to it. And nowadays, since I don't use it at all, then it's even more difficult. So I need some time to really read through it. And that was too fast. Richard, yeah, Yuri means George or Jorge in Spanish. I know, I have Russian relatives, as a matter of fact. So I know. I have a cousin that is called Yuri. Yeah. Mm. And sorry, Richard, I know you mentioned it in a previous stream. Uh, where are you from? I I know you mentioned it, but I cannot remember. And I don't want to say anything in case it's too uh, too far off. Samari, right now my mind is blowing with your work. It's just amazing. Well, thanks, man. That is very, very, very kind of you to say. It's very, yeah. I don't know. It's still a lot to do, so yeah, we'll see. But yeah, much appreciated. Uh, now we I'm just thinking that now I'm kind of getting into this issue of designing the character. Um, should he has sorry, Sami. Sama, I missed part of your message. How did you start drawing? When and how comes the sparkle, la musa? um, can you rephrase that? I'm not sure if I understand exactly your question. Do you mean about this specific piece or in general? If can you be a little bit more specific? Sorry. Juan, yes, enough. Enough is enough. Richard, don't forget to draw the barbarian trousers with some marks of the fight. Yes, yes. I'm just at the moment just trying to think of how it's a little bit. I'm gonna do a little bit like the process with the shield, right? So first I paint the shield proper, and then I start to destroy it. I mean, I could go directly, but yeah, it's more like mental process more than anything. As you can see, I think I have mentioned it before, but I hope that it is not too annoying to watch, but that I'm zooming in and out all the time, and that's normally because I want to make sure that I still keep things in perspective with the whole image, and I don't get completely sucked in with details in one tiny part of the whole painting. Even though this is my focal point for the image, and that's why I'm spending so much time and energies on it. But still, I still want to make sure that it's still working with the whole with the rest of the image. Happy Bear, who are you drawing? Just a barbarian, or it's not a barbarian, it's the barbarian? Okay, let me just recap a little bit. So to give you a little bit perspective on into why I'm doing this guy. Okay, let me just do this so I can and sorry for the rest of you guys that have heard this already, but yeah, I think it's good to give some context for the rest of the people that don't know. Let's see. I need to change the camera so I don't show any NDA stuff. All right. So this character, this barbarian, it's an idea that I had when I jumped in with Instagram 3 years and a half, more or less, and I thought that I was going to use a character to kind of represent the growth of my following. So since I'm a very big fan of the character Conan the Barbarian, I thought like, yeah, let's do a barbarian as this character. So my idea was that as soon as I reach certain number of followers, it will translate into some piece of loot on the character. And so like this, to make some kind of visual metaphor of the channel in that sense, channel of account, or whatever you want to call it. So it started this way when I reached 500 followers, and he got this magical sword. And as you can see, he's very basic in the sense that he doesn't have any clothing. He was completely naked. He was starting from the very beginning. All right. Then I decided that, okay, 1,000 followers was a good goal to do another representation of him. In this case, he has some piece of clothing, just covering his parts, and some boots, and a little bit more, a little bit less primitive in that sense. And you see like with an axe, and yeah, etc. And then when I reached 5,000, I did another one. In this case, as you can see, a little bit more well dressed with more things, and in this case, using this head of a demon or something as the token, or piece of loot to represent that reaching that number. And then when I reach 10,000, and as you can see, I'm adding all these items on him each time. So in this case, the demon from 5,000 is still like some kind of trophy that could give him some kind of magical properties of some kind. I mean, just there's actually a story behind it. I just cannot recall out of my head because this was in 2019, so it's some time ago. And since then, and as you can see, I'm kind of building a visual story with a character. Here, he got scratched by this creature. Now, in this one, he has the scars that mark that fight, etc., etc. Now he has this piece of armor and the helmet. Yeah. And since then, nothing. Because I have been so busy, and every time I reached a number of followers that I thought, maybe this is a good moment to do something, I didn't have the time. So like this time have passed, and I never got the chance to or time to do it. So now that I do to the stream with the stream, I thought that I like the idea. I think it's fun, so I would like to retake it. So I thought about Richard. By the way, this is not water. This is pure rum. All right. Where was it? Yeah. So an image that could represent why the Barbarian has been out of the picture for such a long time. So I thought that, okay, maybe he has been in this quest for magical items and whatever. He got lost in some dungeon, very deep caverns and dungeons or whatever, and he hasn't come back from that yet. So this is kind of to represent that that ordeal, and the fact that he's been such a terrible and challenging and dangerous quest that he barely make it, right? So at the end he will get back, but barely alive. So everything, the subject matter of this piece is kind of to represent that the struggle of that quest that took him so long, disappeared for years, and the fact that it's been extremely tough. So for example, the magic sword, my idea here is that is broken. So he's using it even if it's broken, but still, because the fight has been so intense. I mean, just imagine 3 years in this dungeon. So yeah, he's still a hero, right? Just think of Conan. My idea is like, okay, he's my Conan, so to speak. And so yeah, he's still going on. He's still fighting. He's still challenging, but barely making it. So that's the story about. So this is like the moment where he's confronted with the final boss of this dungeon. That will allow him to get free and get back to the world. And that can give us the opportunity to, and I'm more than happy to hear suggestions for later on of how we could portray him visually. I mean, if my idea is kind of remove some of the things that he had before, the because, for example, I don't like too much these helmets. I don't know. It was getting into some way that, yeah. So this is like the perfect opportunity to kind of restart, not from zero. So he will not be naked once again, but still, yeah, kind of reborn, so to speak, and with some great piece of magical item taken out of this. I don't know. Well, we still haven't decided what this is. If it's some just proper monster or just intelligent type of creature. I don't know. So yeah, that's the story. That was a long explanation, but yeah, there you go. As I tell my students, knowing what is the subject matter of your piece is of extreme importance when creating your illustrations. Yes. So yeah, there you go. Juan Toledano, that story reminds me when in the first year in fine arts, we went to the Plaza de Toros of Salamanca. Plaza de Toros is a bullfighting arena for those that don't know Spanish. For the school party with the people of philology. And the rector banned next year the school parties. Okay. So referring to the party at the studio. Yeah. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Sometimes, I mean, it was great fun. In what way I understand that as soon as things start to get bigger and there's more people, it's difficult to control and maybe bad behavior is difficult to, yeah, it's understandable, but in the other way it's yeah, it is sad. But yeah, no more parties, wild parties for us. I mean, to be honest, some of the parties were quite wild. Yeah, I will leave it there. I'm not gonna say anything else. But yeah, great times. Samari, in general, did you have some idea in mind and work in it? All right, so I'm guessing that you are referring to this piece, and I have explained already. So I hope that that answer. If not, please let me know, and yeah, I will try my best to answer that. Lucius, have you tried using the Photoshop Navigator? Keeps a small image of the painting on screen while you paint. Yes, I know about it, but I hate it. I don't like it at all. It distracts me quite a lot and removes valuable space for me for these things. So I rather just zoom out. I mean, it just take just an instance, and I can see to my need, not just a very very tiny window, which is too small for my taste. So I don't find any use, me personally. Richard, yeah, from the Czech Republic. There you go. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, of course. The country of heaviest consumer of beer of the entire planet. The country of lager. Yes, I never been there, but I can assure you that I will be more very very happy to visit at some point the Czech Republic. Um, I haven't had the opportunity yet, but yeah. And like I said, I um if if I drink any beer, has to be lager. I am definitely not into these new. Well, I don't know in other countries. I don't know, but here in Sweden, in the latest years, I don't know why it has become so fancy and popular to drink IPA and all these type of things that they are not really beer, but yeah, I'm just old fashioned in that way. For me, beer is just lager and that's it. And yes, from Czech Republic, yes, very good. Seb Posada, hey there, how are you? Welcome. How are you doing? Glad to see you around. Samari, wow, so cool. Love the idea and the character. Nice. Glad to hear. I Yeah, I mean, there's this other part that I will have to see, and once again, I'm more than happy to hear some suggestions. It's always fun to do these type of things in a collaborative way. But yeah, how to represent. Uh, I mean, one of the things that I was thinking is that since it's been such a long time, I think I have around 20 something thousand followers. So it's twice as much as, or well, more than twice as much as the last time I did the character. So kind of to represent the enormous, I mean, the size of the numbers, a correlation with the size of the challenge that he went through, because I actually it has been very challenging yeah, years since then, in a positive way, but still being very challenging. A lot of very very hard work. So yeah, kind of to visualize that with this character and this context. So yeah, there will be a moment where I'm gonna have to jump into this and see and decide what it could be. I definitely I as we discuss in other streams, I definitely gonna my idea is to keep it as subtle and suggested as possible and not to go in full detail. Um, but yeah, still I need to have something to go for, and I still don't know. Mm-hmm. Mao. Yeah, always goes well. Yeah, I think yeah, I don't know. I'm definitely not a big expert on beers or any drinks for that matter. Really, but for me there is yeah, is the lager is the type of beer that I enjoy. Now, you know, guys, I'm thinking that if he has been for such a long time in this dungeon, would it make sense if he has a long beard and mustache? How it would look? In some way, kind of breaks the um, recognition aspects uh, of the character from previous depictions, but from um, what's the term? From a context point of view, I mean, he has been he has been lost, right, for years. I mean, I mean, okay, you could definitely you could argue that he still could have shed with a knife, or well, of course, if he's very tough like Chuck Norris with a sword. But uh, yeah, let's see how he looks. Kind of look kind of badass, right? I mean, I'm not completely bought with the idea, but still, in some way, it makes sense in my head. But I'm not. I don't know. yet. What do you think, guys? Also, by the way, well, I mean, maybe you don't care, but yeah, since I've been so busy in the latest months, I had to put to a halt the whole business with the Space Marine tutorial on how to paint Space Marines. But now I have started to have a very tiny window of time to get back to it, and I have to say that it's gonna be a very lengthy tutorial and going very much in depth with a lot of things. So hopefully there will be a lot of useful resources in it for those of you that are interested in getting tips into how to paint and draw Space Marines. I mean, Warhammer 40k Space Marines. Well, of course, there is no other Space Marines worth mentioning than Warhammer 40k Space Marines. I'm kidding. Richard, Miguel, you said before you are a big fan of Conan, but imagine it, Conan met Gotrek Gurnison. Who do you think would win a drink contest? A Dutch guy? Well, obviously not the Dutch guy. Well, I would say Gotrek. For sure. Observation source. Interesting. What is interesting? So mysterious. Just like dropping a word there. Just get carried away by the digital winds of the internet. Interesting. Richard, of course, had no chance to shave himself if he bothered to do it. Draw him a beer or something like that. Well, who knows? I mean, it is all these type of things. I mean, now I get into my nerd shoes, all right? It's like barbarians, they've always been depicted as savages, right? Even in history, I don't know, Gauls or Germanic tribes during the Roman times or the Vikings, but they had a very deep sense of fashion and how do you say, hygiene and yeah, fashion. So they really cared about how they looked, and so I wouldn't be so surprised that a barbarian could actually care about his look, right? I mean, I'm just throwing all these things for the sake of of arguing, throwing back and forth ideas. But I mean, from going back to, okay, the narrative is definitely a good narrative element that kind of build the context of the character within the story and the scene. So in that sense, it has a very strong there's a very strong reason for the argument of giving him the mustache and beard. Cantabrian. Narratively, I'm on board with it. Visually, I like it too. All right. Champion Jordan. Hello, Miguel. Hello, Jordan. Or Champion. I saw your Facebook page. Some illustration from Siama Pedersen Astartes. Do you also work on it? Okay. No. Or yes. Okay. Oh my goodness, I'm overcomplicating things. I have made a small collaboration with him, designing some character. But since I made that, and we've been talking many times about helping him with several things, but at the end, I only help him with the design of a character, but it hasn't been shown yet. So I don't know if if that design will ever see the light, especially now that he's been taken. He's started to work with Games Workshop. So maybe the plans that he had for new episodes have been changed or modified or whoever. So I don't know. Nothing of what I have contributed to has been shown. At least on any video. Maybe on his Patreon he has shown anything. Something of what I have done, but I don't think so. So yeah. Short answer, yes, I have done a tiny collaboration with him with some character design work, but it hasn't been available for the public yet. But he's awesome. He's a genius, and he's an awesome guy. Observation source. Oh, okay. So it wasn't just as one single word there. You mysterious person. You might be a woman as well. So. Hey, Nico. Hello. Welcome to the stream. Well, once again, we have the privilege to have another absolute fantastic artist on the stream. Nico is a hell of an artist. So yes, make sure to follow him on I don't know if you post art on Facebook. I mean, I'm just asking because I tend not to use much Facebook, but on Instagram you are. So if you have Instagram, make sure to follow him because he's a hell of an artist. Richard, even if he has lost for if he was lost for many weeks or months in the catacombs, come on, man. Who knows? I mean, he's a fashion victim. Uh, he get to a pile of loot. Like the coffer filled with coins of gold, and there is this magic sword or whatever, but there is like some necklaces or something. So maybe he take that first. Like, oh, so look. Who knows? I mean, if you are gonna be a hero, you need to have certain sense of fashion, right? One could argue. I mean, I I wouldn't imagine him fighting constantly all the time. He wouldn't have survived. So, I mean, for sure he would have time to rest and maybe looked in into the reflection of a, I don't know, uh, a blade, or who knows, and see, oh shit, I look so ugly. Let me put some deodorant, some perfume, shave a little, curl my hair, some foundations. I mean, some even argue that the Vikings use uh, put makeup. Um, so or I mean, you have seen Braveheart, right? With painting their faces blue. What they don't show on the film is the previous hours of the battle that they are discussing which color they are gonna choose. It's like, I like this blue. It fits better with my Celt. Or no, I prefer red. It's like it. They don't show that. So Richard, if he's a fashion victim, I'm leaving right now. Well, no need to get so serious, all right? Um, but yeah, once again, I mean, who knows? Nico, the visual narrative. We distinguish character importance through their design. Yes. No, wait. Let's give some proper weight to those wise words. And I'm not kidding. The visual narrative, we distinguish character importance through their design. Nico Lee, Lazarus, 2021. That was great. That's a proper quote. But yeah, totally agree, man. Wise words. Richard, if I would be a hero, I would like to be someone like Conrad Kurz. All right, but he's not a okay, but we aren't. He's not a hero. I would argue that he's the anti-hero. Cantabrian. Whoa, he used the Paul Dayton voice effect. Yeah. Yeah, it's been a long time. Yeah. The living god, Paul Dayton. Oh, yes. Richard, that blue color body painting was made from a particular herb. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But what they don't show is how many different herbs and pigmentation they experiment to see what fitted best, and you know, and went along best with other elements. It's a lot of fashion mindset behind that. So it's not just pure how could you say, barbarism. Of course, I'm not saying Scottish people were barbarians, but at that time. But yeah, you get what I mean. Miko, yeah, those were great words. Zeb Posada. Hi, Miguel. Hi. Just wondering, have you ever used a Wion product or tablet? No, I have not. Um, I have only used Wacom for not real reason, really, aside from that they work well. And I mean, the tablet that I use, I have it since forever now, and it has never given me a single issue. So I'm used to it. But yeah, I really want to insist about you guys following. If you use the same Instagram, to follow Nico, because he is a great artist. All right, so yeah, there is something I'm starting to like more the beer thingy. I mean, we can definitely also play. I mean, okay. I mean, we can find a middle ground, all right? So maybe he can have the beer, but he's still not just wild beer, but he still took the time to um, put it together somehow, like this. That's like the minimum, right? I mean, he wouldn't be accused of fashion victim just by doing that. I'm also thinking that he, I mean, going back to the elements that he used to have, like these amulets, perhaps, he should still have it. Something more like that. Question. Now I remember some question that I'm gonna throw into the air. And let's see what you guys think. But I've been considering doing some interviews to some artists that I really, really admire. And doing it just for the sake of, more personal interest. But of course, just releasing those interviews. Is that something that you think would be interesting? Of course, I'm guessing depending on the artist, but I'm going to be very selfish there and just go or try to do it with those artists that I really, really enjoy. Would that be something interesting? Like from of just doing something that from time to time, like a long interview. And because I'm, for instance, in these respects, I see that in many podcasts or stuff, they always interview the same people, and it's a little bit tiresome when there are so many absolutely brilliant artists out there and they don't get any. You don't see any interviews, and I would love to get the opportunity to to talk, and then of course many that I might know personally, and I would love to have some cool conversation and maybe something that I can share as well. I don't know. Uh, Zeb, de nada. And yes, Nico is amazing. Yes. Cantabrian. That would be most definitely be of interest for me personally. Okay, nice. Lucius, I would definitely listen along to that. Nice. Great. Seb, doesn't he love flat brushes like Jamie or you do? Well, I don't. Just ask him. He's on the chat, so you can ask him directly. Observation source. I will come along and listen in. Well, but now you have created a trend. Observation. Not only you should come along and listen, but you should drop one word like interesting. Oh, sorry, interesting, or like I don't know, mm, suggestive. Yeah, that would be like your signature. Like everybody knows that. Okay, observation is here. Zeb, I would watch any content you do, Miguel. Well, are you any? I would say a podcast of you would be awesome. And you invite Jaime Martinez? Yes, yes, that yeah, of course. Jaime, he's great. Yeah, I don't know if I would do a podcast. I mean, I have too much already up on my shoulders, but just using my YouTube channel just to have from time to time, if I get the opportunity to do some interview, just to post them as a regular video, but just interview format. Richard, go for it. It would be great to see other artists answer your questions. Our questions, sorry. No, just my questions. Only mine. Zeb, Nico is on the chat, or he was a few minutes ago. Observation, yes. Yeah, I like that one. Fascinating. That would be awesome. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, okay, we have a deal. Observation. There you go. Juan Toledano, that would be great. Okay, fantastic. Well, that's great to hear. Now, I mean, this is just, uh, bear in mind that this is just a wild idea that I had for a long time, and just like, yeah, wouldn't be nice to talk to this guy or this other one. So I don't know if I would be able to do it, or if they even would be interested on doing it, or yeah. So we'll see. But at least to know that there will be some interest. That's great to hear. Cat God, Miguel Iglesias, ¿habla usted español? Uh, sí, sí hablo. Sí hablo, caballero. Hablo español. Pero el stream lo hago en inglés porque la gran mayoría habla en inglés y no sabe español. Así que por eso. Pero sí, hablo español. For those of you that don't know Spanish, I said something extremely interesting. Very, very, very unique. But if you don't know Spanish, I'm sorry. Just kidding. All right. Where were we? Yes. Beer or no beer? That's the question. Cat God. Nice, saludos. Amo tu arte. Ala, ala, amo. Palabras tan grandes. Bueno, gracias. De todas maneras. Thank you. Thank you. That, eres muy amable. Gracias. Cantabria. Miguel's trolling game is peaking tonight. Really? Why? I'm not trolling. I'm not a troll. Seb, what people don't know, what people don't know is that his name is Michael Churches, but he just like English a lot. Yes. Well, there are many. Yeah. If you know my, well, of course you know because that's the, yeah, my. You could know a lot from my last name. I will leave it there. Richard. Beer and bear is the answer. Yes. Definitely. Yes, very good, my friend. That's the answer for sure. Lucius, time to get Google Translate out. Yeah, but that's not gonna I'm not gonna say those words again ever. So you, and yeah, so you lost your opportunity. I'm sorry. Um, Seb, sorry, I meant Spanish. Yes, 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 yeah, I got that. And I'm from Manchester, but I'm just faking a Spanish accent. Mr. Wong, you deserve so much viewers. What the fuck? How are you doing, Miguel? I'm doing very good. Thank you. Thank you. Um, thanks for asking. And how are you doing? I'm just here having a fantastic time painting the Barbarian and talking to you guys. I'm really having a blast tonight. Really. And yeah, I don't know about the viewers. Uh, it would be nice to have a little bit more, for sure. But yeah, things are this way. I mean, I'm to be honest, I'm not doing the stream for the viewers, but like I said before, just to have a proper channel of communication with people that might want to ask something, or yeah, just yeah, a way to be able to talk to you guys. Beep, beep, beep. Mr. Wong, bro, that the division character design was uh Ethan. I don't know what that is. Maybe it's a misspell. Sorry. Bomb, bro. Congrats. Thank you. Thank you. Glad you liked it. You got cool sketchbook. You got cool sketchbook ballpoint drawings. Maybe do live stream of that someday. Yeah, perhaps. It's just that I don't have. I'm jumping into excuse train here, but it's true. I don't have any proper hardware to make that happen. You need to have a camera and somewhere to put it looking down, and yeah. But yeah, sure. I that would be nice. Sure, sometime perhaps. But yeah, thanks for the kind words. I'm happy that you enjoyed the character design work that I did for the division. It was a very challenging project to work with. So yeah, it wasn't easy doing work for that project because of the nature of the project. And all its creative challenges. So yeah, it's always nice to hear that somebody likes it. So yeah, much appreciated. Thanks. Yeah, I have so many stories about the division. That was that's I can say without any doubt that was the more challenging project I have ever worked in my entire career. One of these things, I mean, this is one of these things that people sometimes don't get about video game production is that if you are within a studio, because of course, if you're a freelancer, as I am currently, you most likely you are jumping in and out of projects, so you don't stay too much time in a project, except some cases which exist. For example, I'm working on Dark Tide for 2 years now, so it's a long time working on a single project, but it's not common as a freelancer. But I'm just digressing. When you are working on a studio for a game, especially a big AAA game of this size as the Division, it takes many years. Like, I think I worked on that game 6 years. Just imagine. It's exhausting in many ways. Yeah, so it was a very challenging project. Not just, I mean, because of the long time, but because it goes through many different moments, creatively speaking, and things change quite a lot. And yeah, so in for developers, when they have, I mean, when they release a game, it really feels like a birth, going through all the pain of a birth and happiness and and release of stress and frustrations and everything, because it's you invest years and years of your life. I remember one colleague of mine, another concept artist, one of these stereotype of artists that he's completely unknown because he doesn't has any social media, anything. Nobody knows about him, and he's an absolute beast of an artist, especially character concept artist. He's insane. Well, once again, I'm digressing again. This guy, he went into the project single, and when we released the game, he was married and with two kids, and yeah, 6 and 7 years old. Just imagine the time invested in some of these projects. It is insane. So the getting to this point, if it's released, because of course, then it is the case of all these other projects that never see the light of day, even though there might have been an invested many years in it, and I've been part of many of those projects, like spending maybe 2 years working on a project, and it's got cancelled, and that's work that I will never be able to use or show. So it feels like, yeah, those years wasted in some way. I don't know why I end up talking about this, but yeah, whatever. But yeah, it's this thing with video games and how long they take to do. Uh, uh, it's so often to see people that really don't get it, what it really means on a personal level, for the developers involved on them. I mean, people tend to take these things for granted. Yeah, just made a video game. And everybody has an opinion about video games and how they are done, and they have absolutely no fucking clue. Richard, please don't do any knots on his beard. It's annoying as hell to have such a lumbersexual barbarian. Man, you are being very picky, Richard, I have to say. There is no way to please you. Beer, but no, yeah, no, beer doesn't make sense. It's too much fashion victim, but not the man. Can we get to a middle ground? You're difficult to please. I mean, into the sexual appeal. I mean, isn't it? Uh, isn't Conan supposed to be a sex bomb? Right, like irresistible piece of a man. At least with the ladies, with the princesses and things like that. Cat God. ¿Podría contarme qué estudió usted profesionalmente? Perdón si el español es un problema. Para empezar, no me trates de usted. Trátame de tú. Ya está. No hay, no hay necesidad de formalidades. Pero si puede ser, mejor en inglés, porque así la gente puede entender. Ahora, si no puedes, pues nada, adelante en español. Um, so the question is, if you could tell me what did I studied professionally. So first I will answer in Spanish and then in English. Profesionalmente no he estudiado nada para hacer lo que hago. Fui a un colegio de cine especializado en animación tradicional. Luego empecé Bellas Artes y acabé por accidente en esto del arte conceptual y la ilustración. Así que no hice ningún tipo de estudio específico para trabajar de esto. And yeah, my answer to that is that I went to a cinema school studying specifically for traditional animation, and that I started fine arts, but I never studied anything specific for working as a concept artist. So I ended up by accident, actually. Mr. Wong, I knew streamers who do that ball paint streams with just phone holder. Just for consideration, of course. Yeah. I mean, I know, but I just don't even have that. So, I mean, that's what I meant, that I'm jumping into the excuse train. But it's also true at the same time. So I would have to kind of get into that. And also, it's not just about that, but you need to have a proper lighting and space. And yeah, but it's I make a mental note, and since I'm renovating my my home, so when all my office space is ready, I also had to go through rearranging things. So I have to consider these type of things as well. So yeah, it's noted, and thank you for the suggestion. Yeah, it's always good to get this type of feedback. So much appreciated. Richard, I'm aware of that. I'm quiet right now. It's fine. It's fine. I'm just kidding. You are more than welcome to be picky. I mean, I really appreciate your input, and I'm always open for suggestion and feedback. So don't feel. By the way, if you don't like something, don't feel. Just go for it and just say it. It's fine. I think it's always good to get constructive feedback. And to be honest, Richard, you have a point. So I'm just like considering ideas and exploring, because it's like all these things that always you, of course, narrative, it's extremely important. um, but then all, of course, you cannot take away from the equation the look. So it's always finding this balance between, okay, something that makes sense, but also the rule of cool is always also something important to have in consideration. It shouldn't be the main thing, but it's definitely important to, yeah. So that's why I'm exploring. How about an earring? I think he does. Yeah, he has earrings. Yes, he has. Cat God. Yeah, you are welcome, man. I mean, yeah, my pleasure. Oh wow, it's already here. It's 12:30. Quite late. So I think I'm gonna leave it here, guys. I think this been pretty fruitful stream. Even if talking as much as I have done this stream, I've been very talkative. But I still think we managed to get somewhere with the at least with the character, since I've been focusing mainly on the character. But yeah, I think even though we've been joking quite a lot about beer or not beer, but I think that's actually quite a big jump into the scope of the design of the character, and putting some context to the whole scene. So yeah, and really, I mean, I had a blast tonight. I It's been very very enjoyable. And yeah, so like always, next stream will be next Saturday if I'm still alive, due to all the renovations and client work that I have to do, but mostly because of the renovations. I don't know if you have gone through any of those, but yeah, it is insane, the huge amount of things to think about, controlling that they are doing things properly, and decisions and things that don't go the way they should be. And yeah, it's a lot. So yeah, anyway, of course, you don't care about those things. So yes, if I'm alive, next stream, next Saturday. Thanks a lot once again for joining in. And yeah, hopefully see you next week. Have a good one. Stay safe. Have fun. And yes, until next week, have a good one and bye bye. Bye 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 bye.